All right, a beautiful morning. It's a Monday, and you're welcome to Family and Values. Here we talk about everything that has to do with family. We try to, keep you up to date and know things about how to go about your challenges when you are in marriage or in relationship. And we don't just talk about that. We talk about divorce. We talk about dating. We talk about single moms. Talk about people that separated. A whole lot when it comes to the marriage institution. My name is Rose Blossom, and you're welcome again. And of course, we're streaming live on all our social media platforms at Galaxy Television, on Twitter and on Facebook. And you can download our Galaxy app on Google Play Store and Apple Play Store, so you don't miss any of our live programs, because they are promising to be interesting. Today we'll be talking about the addictions that have effect on marriage. Oh wow. All right, today we'll be talking about something very interesting, but we'll have to go on a mini feature first, which will be an introduction to what we'll be talking about. Then, of course, when we come back, we will be talking more on what we should have. And we have guests in the house, of course, who give us, back-to-back information on what we need about the topic. So let's go on a mini feature, and we will be right back.
It is perfectly healthy to have certain standards, ones that we cannot compromise on. It is good to know what we want from a relationship and a partner. On the other hand, sometimes the bar is set too high. Our perception of what's normal and attainable can be skewed thanks to what we see in the media or the windows we have in our neighbors' relationships. Unrealistic expectations set us up for a letdown. In a good enough relationship, people have high expectations for how they are treated. They expect to be treated with kindness, love, affection, and respect. This doesn't mean they expect their relationship to be free of conflict. Conflict can be productive because, when handled in healthy ways, it leads to greater understanding. We should not expect to solve all our problems in the relationship. It is unrealistic to expect a relationship to heal childhood wounds or to become a pathway to spiritual enlightenment or self-actualization. Realistic expectations are simply the healthy standards that everyone should have in a relationship. They seem simple enough, but it can be hard to separate unhealthy expectations from healthy standards. Trust is arguably the most crucial aspect of a healthy relationship. Trust precedes love. Respect is also important. It is healthy to assume a high level of respect from your partner. It means respecting your partner's differences and showing them compassion when it comes to their weaknesses. Respecting a relationship is also about setting boundaries and honoring those boundaries. Holding unrealistic expectations in a relationship can be especially harmful because they keep you and your partner from seeing and enjoying the positive parts of your relationship. Expectations are dangerous because an expectation is an idea that you should have something. Therefore, when that thing doesn't come, you are left feeling unsatisfied and disappointed. And if they cannot be adjusted, unrealistic expectations will be the downfall of the relationship. Unrealistic expectations can keep you from entering a relationship in the first place because no one can fulfill the expectations you have. Recognizing the difference between expectations that are realistic and unrealistic is the first step to a healthy relationship. Try to let go of what you should have and focus on the present.
All right, you're welcome back. Yes, we're discussing the truth about expectations in marriage. A lot of people have different kind of expectations. You have some unrealistic ones, and of course we have the realistic expectations. But I'm not the expert in the building. We have experts to dissect and of course give us the right information when it comes to expectation in marriage. Sometimes it could build and sometimes it could mar your marriage. And of course, we're starting from our far right is Barrister Lawal Anu. It's good to have you here.
Thank you for having me again.
She's very good in that. I hope you have been following for the last 2 Mondays. She has been dishing out very nice advice, and of course I'm sure to get more of that today. And we have another guest in the house, Abiodun Mabadeje. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me again.
Yes, they are both relationship and marriage coach, and of course he's an author also, and barrister, of course, as you heard. She's a legal practitioner. It's good to have both of you here. Okay, I'm going to start first with the truth about expectations. Now, a lot of people tend to mix the realization of saying expectation is when you are, how will I put it? There's this word entitlement. Some people feel entitled. Do you think people mix those two up, expectations, what they expect of their partner, and being entitled? Barrister, please.
From the preview we had right now before we started now, There are some expectations that are just unrealistic. Expectations and entitlement is two different things. And in marriage, that entitlement is inverted comma, open and close. You are not really entitled, but you should have some expectations. Realistic expectations. So when you are talking about entitlement and expectation, they are two different things.
Because some people, when they are married, they feel like, I'm entitled to this because I'm married to you.
No, no. But your expectation, your realistic expectation, in a bit of a way, is a kind of entitlement. I'm married to you. I'm entitled for you to love me. I'm married to you. I'm entitled. That's why I said inverted comma, open and close.
Yes.
I'm married to you. I'm entitled to your love, to your care, to your attention, to your trust, to your... But it wouldn't be entitlement. Per se.
Per se.
Yes.
It could be some sort of expectation.
It's some kind of expectation, realistic expectations.
Okay.
I'm married to you. I expect you to love me. I expect you to provide for me. I expect you to take care of me. I expect you to do some things for me. Those are the realistic expectations. But when it now becomes too demanding, too choking, you are now turning it to an entitlement attitude that no, you are married to me, you must sit down here. You are married to me, you must talk to me at 2 a.m.
It's too much. Yes.
Things.
Okay, Abiodun, I want to ask this. She just said something about unrealistic expectation. Where do we draw the line? I say, okay, at this point, this is not a realistic expectation anymore. This is unrealistic expectation. I want us to break it down so that they would understand what makes it unrealistic.
Now, she mentioned the fact that sometimes people get to the point where, because I am married to you, you expect that, oh, you should do this, you should do that. And then in pushing it too further, it could become, you know, entitlements. Yeah, now, entitlements in themselves are not necessarily bad. Like
really?
They are not necessarily bad, but they could become bad depending on how you push them forward. They could become bad. But then again, when you talk about expectations could be, is neither here nor there. What makes an expectation? What is expectation in the first place?
Yes,
it's an imagination. It's a picture you have in your mind of what you expect to happen from your partner. Now, so to expect your partner to do something for you or to you is not bad, but it becomes bad when, for example, I'm sorry, but I'm going to put it this way. Ladies generally, you know, when they become married, there's this mentality that the man, there is a way they see the husband as the alpha and
I was about to say that, but is it not the alpha and the omega?
but we must understand that that man is also as human as you are.
Okay.
So expecting him to meet all your needs, provide, yes, he's supposed to provide, but to provide everything, you are putting him in the place of God. And it is only God who can meet all your needs. A man can never meet all your needs. And may I also disappoint you, even God will not meet all your needs.
Oh yes, because he will filter them. He will give you everything you want.
He will not meet all your needs. If God were to meet all our needs, then we won't need him anymore.
Right.
If you come to a point in your life where all your needs are met,
right,
what would you need God for?
You'll be like, I don't need God anymore.
You don't need God. So don't expect your husband, and of course in the other way your wife also to meet all your needs. There will always be points where you have to all sit down and discuss what is possible and what is not possible, what is doable and what is not doable.
Okay, now I want us to spell it out. What are those unrealistic expectations that if you put into your marriage, either coming from the husband or from the wife, is definitely heading towards the wall? Barrister.
The first one we women always expect is my husband must be with me 2/7.
Oh, shit.
The triangular relationship: work,
office, home. Yes.
Work, office, home.
And that is not possible.
It's not possible. Where are you? You are supposed, you left the office by 5. 1 hour 30 minutes.
Yeah, you're supposed to be home. Yeah.
That kind of expectation is unrealistic. You can't cage a man, even a woman. Even with Lagos traffic and all those things, you left the office 5 p.m. You are expecting to get home by 6:37. But unfortunately, Lagos did its own to you, and you enter the traffic of 2 hours, and you are trying to explain to her, I'm in the traffic. You are in the traffic. Yesterday you are in the traffic. Today you are in the traffic. No, you can't expect a kind of triangular relation. Just go to your office, come back home. If it's church or Muslim, go to church on Sunday. Everybody comes back together. You just want to control that man's movement or the woman's movement. I usually tell couples, you can't monitor a man, even a man or woman. You can't. The best you can do is pray that man into what you want. God, this man is going. Wherever he's going, let your presence. It takes that spirit, the spirit in that person. When that person is in the wrong place, like, this place is not good though. My wife will not like it. Even the fact that your wife might not even know where you are. But it takes that inner man, that inner thing, depending on what you believe. I believe in God, so it's that spirit of God that you should put more into that man. Not that you cannot go to your friend's house. That's a very unrealistic expectation. Another unrealistic expectation women always bring to the table is, my husband, like you rightly said, must provide everything. Everything. He can't provide everything.
It's not possible.
He can't. That's where communication comes in. Before you guys were married, you should have known the work he's doing. You know your work you are doing. You bring everything to the table and communicate. When there are changes, communicate it.
Yes.
So expectation can change.
True. Yeah.
The husband is supposed to be providing 100K a month. Unfortunately, something happened and is now telling you, this is the situation. Okay, let me be bringing 50K. Communication helps expectations. When there's no communication and you are expecting like 1 million from somebody, and first day, second day, third day,
he's not bringing it.
He's not bringing it. Whereas the person has suffered a setback. It's going to be difficult for the other party to comprehend that. Why is he not giving me the money? Why is he not providing this? Another unrealistic expectation, your husband cannot provide everything. Women, let's bring something to the table. It's very, very, very important and crucial in this age that we are. Another unrealistic expectation, I should think that one is men. Because I have some couple, I even have somebody you know, they want this other room activity virtually every time.
Oh, wow.
Most of the time. Am I wrong? Most of the time. That's
definitely unrealistic.
We had to settle a quarrel between a couple. The husband said his libido is high. Yeah. Which there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, of course there's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with that. But the wife is this small statured, and it was getting in between their marriage. The expectation of the husband was that I'm married now. In the morning, I'm there. In the afternoon, anytime I call. But for the wife, that was not her expectation of marriage. She's like, well, I told them, that's what we call compromise.
Right.
Husband, you need to know your wife. You need to know her ability. You need to know her strength. You need to, and it should not be just a one-way thing. Just, you should be able to know what turns are on. Your expectation of doing this other room activity every time cannot work with that kind of a lady. Yeah. Now both of you sit down, study her. My wife, she's fragile. My wife, this is the way she likes it. Then before you know what is happening, both of you will come. Yes, sir. To a common ground, and things will work. But if the man is always saying, no, it's not possible, I have to start, is that not why I married? Yeah. The mental health of the woman will be affected. Before you know what is happening, it will translate to the children, it will translate to the husband. Before you know what is happening, there's separation.
In fact, that could even push the man outside.
You could push the man outside if they don't understand
each other.
Another word, entitlement. Some men think once they are married to you, they are entitled to your body 24/7.
Which is definitely impossible, because even a machine will break down. Yes. If you work on it 24/7 every day, it's going to break down. I really like those expectations. So I'm going to ask you, Abiodun, excuse me. She has already stated a whole lot about women when it comes to expectation, which I love how she handled, because she's a woman, so she would have been in the best position. Now she mentioned just one about a man. I want you to mention more about men when they expect so much from their spouses in relationship, and it is always termed as unrealistic expectations.
Okay, let me start from the one she mentioned about men. You know, always expecting the woman to be available for the other room business. Well, it's not. I won't say it's bad in a sense for a man to expect his wife to be available, but there are certain factors that could make that possible or not possible. For example, if your wife is a woman who goes to work in the morning, comes back in the evening, as you do, you should expect that she'll be tired.
Yeah.
But then again, there are men who, in some cases, expect that, okay, you are my wife, you are at home. You don't go out, it's not like you experience traffic and all of that, and then you're at home, and then, so what is your excuse for not being available? I'm just saying that there are some men who see it that way.
Because I'm not at home from morning till night.
I'm not saying it is right. I'm just saying that there are men who push that forward to say, okay, you're at home from morning till evening. You didn't go out. So what is your excuse for being tired and not being available for me? I'm not saying it is right.
Right, okay.
But there are men who push that argument.
Yeah.
You understand? So, but again, we should have, like she said, there is place for communication, and then so that you can reach a point where there is a middle ground, and then we can both agree on what is possible and what is not possible. She's a human being, not a machine. And like you said, even machines they break down.
Yeah.
That's one aspect. So then, concerning finances at home, in this part of the world, there is a general mentality that the man must, and I use that word must deliberately, the man must provide. In other climes, it's an understanding that you work, I work, so everybody brings something to the table. There is nothing like the man must provide. But in this environment, there is that mentality that the man must provide. Now, because it is not possible, especially in the days that we live in
now.
It is not possible. No matter how much the man earns, it is not possible. So where the woman works, definitely she should be able to, bring something to the table, support the house. However, in terms of the man expecting her to do it, whether she likes it or not, is where communication again comes in. Because if she's a woman coming from the background of it is the man that must provide, and then you, maybe because of the realities on ground, expect that to support, and then instead of communicating, discussing, you just expect that she should know now that see Nigeria, see the economy. I was bringing 100,000 now, even my 100,000 naira has turned to 50,000. Where do you expect me to be? She should know. No, she doesn't see it as she should know. So you have to, of course, discuss it with her rather than just expect her to just step in.
Yeah.
She doesn't care where you get the balance. No, I'm sorry to say, but many women don't care.
We actually agree. That is why we are
no, many women don't care where you get the balance.
Balance it of my
yes, go and look for it. You are the man. You have to pay the school fees. You have to pay the house rent. You have to provide food.
But we can support too. But you have to balance it up.
Again, that is where communication comes in.
Okay.
You see, let me quickly say this. There is what is called the ideal, and there is what is called the real. The ideal is what we are calling this expectation. How we want it to be, how we hope that it should be, or sometimes how it actually should be. But then there is the reality, how it is now.
Yeah.
So that is where the communication becomes very important. How it is, where the man tells the woman, this is what is, this is what is possible. Excuse me.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
So this is how it is, and then we both discuss based on how it is. Now we use how it is to balance what we want, to balance what we want it to be, how we want it to be. Because again, how it is now does not mean that that is how it's going to remain forever. From time to time, realities change. That is where I think many women need to calm down. Just because it is like this now does not mean it's going to remain like that forever.
Okay, that's well said. Okay, before we continue, we have a lot that we'll still be talking about. I can see some people will definitely be understanding that, oh, so these things I expect of my partner is not what I should be expecting, and this I'm expecting I should even still put a control button to it so it doesn't go into the part where you say this is an unexpected, unrealistic expectations. So let's quickly go on a short break, and when we go for the short break, when we'll come back, we'll continue cracking on the truth about expectations in marriage. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's Family and Values. You're still watching. I hope you're following through. Yes, we have two guests in the house, which have been cracking since earlier times, since 9. And of course, we have Abiodun Mabadejo, who's an author, an actor, and a motivational speaker. He's in the building. And also we have Barrister Anu Lawal, who is also a certified leadership manager and a deep counselor. They're both in the house, you know, talking about the truth about expectations in marriage. So I would like to continue, and I'll pick from where Abiodun was actually stating that sometimes some people from their background, their family, they think that it's their father that does everything. The mother works, but they've not seen where the mother will say, take, let's go, except those little things in the house when the daddy is not around, the mom is not around. Yeah, so now, do you think family background is one of the major factors that actually affects people when it comes to their unrealistic expectation of their own spouse?
Yes, it does. But before I continue to hammer on unrealistic expectations, we should not forget that there are some realistic expectations that really helps to tame the unrealistic expectations. Okay. Anybody going into a marriage, you are expecting your husband is going to respect you. Anybody going into a marriage, we expect that your spouse, you will trust that person to an extent. Anybody going into a marriage will expect that the husband, the wife will always care. Not everything is not money. Care, attention. There are some basic things that you expect in a normal marriage. So if those basic things are not there, it will not be able to quench that appetite for those unrealistic expectations. Oh, okay. So if I'm coming from a childhood where my dad is always like, my wife, are you okay? As your children eating, blah, blah, blah. And I get married to a man, and he doesn't even look back if we've eaten lunch or dinner. All is like, I've given you your money, allowance for the month. Our expectation when she was coming, my husband too will be caring. My husband will know. Men, they don't know their husband, their wife's shoe size. Even women, they don't know their husband's shoe size. Some little basic expectations. Once they are not met, the unrealistic ones will now grow wings. Okay. So childhood does the family you are coming from. That's why they always say marriage is a union of two different people. Two different people. Some people, they were brought up in a community where everybody sits outside at night shouting. They are used to people around them. And some people grew up in stay in your house. Once you are back from school, you don't go out. Now, if such people get married, let's say the husband is everybody's type, and you expect him to come back in the evening and sit at home with you. It's going to take time with the changes that the marriage will bring. Okay, kids are there, you have to stay with your kids. But if you are expecting that the way you did it in your father's house
will be the same thing in yours,
will be the same thing, it's going to be a bit different.
Now, you said something about what I like the angle you're coming from, but I feel like this issue now, this is an outgoing person and you are the indoor person. I feel it's something they should have settled in the relationship, not even in marriage. Because I feel if they start settling it in marriage, it could be a lot of problem. It could even take a whole longer time for them to settle it. Or it might, I'm just saying, it might result to the wife ignoring the partner entirely, just for her to, well, I want to have peace of mind, let him do what he wants to do. Don't you think that? Like, there are some things that you even need to sort, you need to address before you enter that marriage. Let him know that, okay, this is what I expect, and this is what I think I'll go overboard with.
Let me give an average of, let's say, like 10 years from the study, and people have been talking and counseling. Most people, before they get married, they don't even want to see anything bad about each other. So they don't want to address anything. They are just after that, let's get married. I've seen people, would I call that on courtship? 3 months. It happens. It could be a miracle.
Miracle marriage.
No, it happens. It happens.
It
does, yeah.
It does. Seriously, it does. You meet somebody and the next thing. But if you look at the statistics, they are older people.
Yes.
It's not going to be this 25.
No.
It will be this like 35, 40. They've seen
things. So they just
can just 3 months get into the marriage. But before marriage, most people, they don't study each other. They don't know what he or she likes. When I got married to my husband, he wasn't into lawn tennis. It was when we got married, he started lawn tennis. Do you know I had to learn Roger Federer's name? Mark Murray. Just because when he comes home, that's what he wants to discuss
about.
40 love. I started playing lawn tennis.
Oh, wow.
Along the line, do you know what he does now?
What?
Golf. Hey,
you got to golf.
Honestly, see that all my team, bunker, park. If he's there, he's listening now. Those are the things you have to do to make that thing work. I'm not a sports person. In my place, when you come back from school, do your homework, sit down in your house. He is the person, he goes out, he socializes. He's from an extended family.
Okay.
When I got to know them, the father's junior brothers, kids were staying with them. The mother's aunties' kids were staying with them. So we did.
It was a full house.
Yes, it took me some time to know. Oh, this is my husband's siblings direct. This is the niece. This is the cousin. Can I be expecting such a person
to stay home? No way.
So our childhood, consciously or unconsciously, affects what we expect in a marriage. So our expectation cannot and will never be exactly the same. Where our parents brought us up. My mother was a teacher, and you could this discipline, this hey.
Yes, of course.
Is with my mom. So his own mom is even up till now. Even when she's talking to her, Pele, how are you? You will not expect that kind of a man. Hey, sit down. Hey, you didn't talk to me. You know, so our childhood, consciously or unconsciously, that's why there is room for change. Like you said, the reality changes. We should be open to good changes.
Great.
That's what helps our expectation to be nipped if they are the unrealistic ones.
Okay, because of our time, Abiodun, what advice will you give to people now out there, both the young, the one going to marriage, and the one that's still in relationship, and the ones that are still single and hoping to, get married? What advice will you give to them when it comes to the truth about expectations in marriage?
Yeah, like I said earlier, the first thing you have to understand is that nobody, no human being can meet all your expectations. So don't go into marriage or relationship thinking that this person, anything I expect him to do or expect her to do, she or he must do it. No, it's not possible. That's number one. Then number two, understand that you are as human as you are, your partner is also human. So as you expect him or her to do things, you should also be bearing it in your mind that he or she will also be expecting things from you. So there should always be room for discussion to balance it. And then this is to women. When you are going into marriage, please understand that your husband is not God and cannot be. Before you got married, you had a relationship with God. There is a way you relate with God to pray, God help me, meet my needs and all of that. Don't shift that responsibility of God supply to your husband because you are now married and then you think you just have to fold your hands and he must do everything. It's not possible and you should not do it. However, I want to say something about one of the things she said, the issue of trust. Trust, we must understand, is not a gift. Trust is a reward.
It's earned.
It's earned. It's earned. It's a reward. And then for you to be trusted, you have to be tested, you have to be tried. And then it is after you have been tested and tried and you have earned trust, that is when they say you are trustworthy. It means that now I can relax and not worry about your actions because I know that you will do the right thing. So people should learn to work on, trust, being trustworthy. Yes. And then another thing that helps that is that in order to earn somebody's trust, you must be open. Openness is the bedrock of trust. You know, you must be open. You can't be someone who wants to hide things. And I'm going to say this simple example. The issue of phone. I know people have their different views about it. If you're in a relationship, this is my personal opinion.
Okay.
If you're in a relationship,
okay,
or you're married and you password your phone, and you are the type, don't touch my phone. What are you doing with my phone? Why should you touch my phone? And you password your phone. You have already created an impression that there is something you are hiding.
Yes.
So you have already given the other person the impression
that you should not be trusted.
Don't trust him. You can't trust him. So people should look at those little things.
Yes.
You know, about being open, because if you are not open, you have already put the other person in a position to suspect you. Okay, Barrister, you wanted to say something?
Like you said, trust is a process. That's why courtship, relationship needs to precede marriage. You can't expect me to get into the marriage before I start the process of you trusting me or I trusting you. So there must have been a degree of trust, openness before marriage. The phone issue, yes, it creates a big hole in trust. But let me use my husband for example now. The kids, you know, kids nowadays, you won't even know when they pick your phone. The next thing, battery is down, they've pressed something and his phone is for his work.
And you don't know where they press.
You don't know what they press. So communication, like we've rightly been saying, let your wife know why there's a password on your phone. When I just got a new phone, I was like, I don't want password. It was like, if it gets lost, if something happens, they will easily get into your phone. Because I don't password my phone. Like you rightly said, I don't have anything to hide. But honestly, with the circumstances, it could get lost, they could steal it, your kids could pick it up, and just because it's open. So
anybody can access it.
The thing that we've both been saying is communication. My dear, I have to password this phone. This your children. You know the last time, blah, blah, blah. In traffic, my phone was stolen in traffic. They just banged the window and, you know. But because then this SIM card password was already there.
Okay, so they could access it.
Women, husband, couples, they should realize that passwording a phone is not only for keeping secret, but the basic reason why men password their phone is because they have something they're hiding. Thank you.
Well, there's no need to argue that, but then I know that there are women who are guilty.
Yes, but
I don't password my phone.
But it's rare. It's mostly if you see anything password. It's usually because of the men. They will tell you no, don't go through their phone.
That is the point. Even the husband too, why shouldn't he be able to go through? If I can go through your body, what is that I cannot do?
Exactly my point. And you know where it baffles me, you see some ladies, some men too, that they call themselves therapists. They'll say, please don't go through your husband's phone or your wife's phone because you will cry. Why would I cry? Because I'm going through my spouse's phone, which is something that we really need to do. And another thing, while you were talking, I remember something, house chores. There's this, will you call it unrealistic expectation when women expect the men to always help around the house? Because sometimes then growing up, a lot of men have seen their fathers just cross their legs and watch football or play around while the woman is cooking, she's cleaning, she's taking care of the children and doing every other thing. Now when a woman comes up and like, okay, I was coming from that home, but I don't want that in my own home. My husband must be able to help out. If I'm taking care of the kitchen and the children, he should be doing the cleaning. Do you term that as unrealistic expectation?
Okay, I do not necessarily see it as unrealistic expectation. Now, the reason is this. Again, let us not forget that we have our different backgrounds. Now, this is a new union, different from where you are coming from, different from where I am coming from. Now, how this family ought to work should not necessarily be determined by where I'm coming from work. It should not necessarily be. So we have to now forge a new agenda for our family of how we want it to work. Now, again, the other time I said something about, you know, impositions. These things should not be about impositions. It should be about, it should be based on discussions and agreements. Yeah. Can two work together except they agree? So we have to discuss it and agree on how in this home, in this family, how we are going to do it. Now you expect me to support you in the kitchen or do house chores, which is not bad in itself. But then again, we now have to discuss it in the light of how my day goes. In the light of my other activities, what is realistic for me to assist you with and what is not realistic, and then we agree on it. That's what I think.
Okay, it's a whole lot of things. You see this house chores, a lot of ideas are coming to my head. Okay, like if the man is, I know I'm not getting any opinion, but I'm just saying, if the man is working and the lady is working and he's like, ah babe, I'm tired, I can only wash the plates, so she'll have to take care of the kitchen, she'll have to take care of the children and probably still clean after eating. Now that's a lot of work for the woman because she also went to work. Or would it be that some men will now say, okay, if I'm going to help you in kitchen, that means you bring something to the table too. If I'm going to be paying half, you pay half, so I can help you around the house chores. Now this is a lot. I can see barista, but there's no time to there's no time to react to that one. Maybe next time when we talk about this again, we'll bring it up, or possibly maybe tomorrow I could just chip it in for the guests that'll be coming over tomorrow. But at this point, I'll say thank you very much, Barista Anulao. Thank you so much, and thank you so much, Mr. Abiodun.
Thank you.
Even though you shake the table a little bit when it came to when it came to that food aspect. Thank you, my viewers, for actually joining us. It was a very interesting and very educating one. I really enjoyed myself and I learned one or two. So yes, tomorrow we'll still be talking about marriage issues and of course things that will help you boost your marriage, that will make you love each other, that will make you stay stronger in marriage and keep the marriage institution going, you know, even into the future. My name is Rose Blossom. Until tomorrow, do have a beautiful day and bye for now.